Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Race 8 at Santa Anita on Saturday is the Grade 2 San Pasqual Stakes, $200,000 for older horses. Our coverage is presented by DRF Bets. When you sign up to DRF Bets, you access a $200 free bet, no deposit required at drf.com/join. Please input the promo code FREEBET09. Let's take a look at this field, and it is a good one for the San Pasqual. The favorite is on the outside, the morning line favorite. That's the number 9, top of the game, and he is at the top of his game at Santa Anita, where he is undefeated on the main track.
Yeah, for lifetime on the main track at Santa Anita. He's a horse that he's dirtied up, which is why I'm very, very surprised by the morning line, considering you've got 3 Bafferts in here, you've got a horse like Pavel, you've got Accelerate, you've got Breeders' Cup horses. I'm going to be surprised if ultimately he goes off favored. Having said that, the fact that he's 4 for 4 at Santa Anita, the turf race, I'm just drawing a line through it, didn't like it. And then 2 starts back, he got stopped cold on the far turn, took him completely out of the race. If he gets through, I think he threatens in that spot as well.
A lot of folks thought he could have been best in that race if he wasn't stopped. And you're right, you throw those 2 races out, you're left with a 104 buyer at where else? Santa Anita. He's got great tactical speed as well. Speaking of speedsters, the 8 is Prime Attraction. This horse won the Native Diver. I mean, he might have benefited from top of the game's misfortunes in that race, but this was a horse that kind of put it all together. He's still, you know, green and a little bit goofy, and his mechanics are off, but this is a horse that always has some ability. He just had never reached it. Now he's reached it. What happened in the San Antonio?
I'm sure the folks that listen to our stakes previews, whenever he comes up, I say the same thing over and over, that we've always known talent is there. The problem is just he doesn't have a nut in his head. He just goes out there and acts like a fool. The San Antonio is one of the more polarizing races for me because I still don't know what to do. I think Inside was very, very strong on the main track on opening day at Santa Anita. That was the race where you had Collected and you had Opportunity and you had all those horses. Well, Collected, maybe he just can't run anymore because he was not good when they shipped him out to Gulfstream. And Giant Expectations, who won the San Antonio, I don't really want to hold the Gulfstream race against him because he was parked out in post 12. So I don't know what to do with that race just yet. This horse was not good that day. That's all I know. Maybe he can rewrite the ship. He might be controlling speed. I just don't know that I don't know that I trust him. I also think the Native Diver buyer is way too high.
It's very possible that Native Diver buyer is high, perhaps working off of the comment of a top buyer of top of the game. You could look at Prime Attraction 2 different ways. I wouldn't fault anyone that said, well, he bounced in the San Antonio after a career best performance in the Native Diver. But I wonder if he's the anti-top of the game and that he likes Del Mar. Maybe a little bit better than Santa Anita. You got that big Native Diver win. You got his maiden win where he just kind of ran away and hid there. Maybe he's that kind of horse. You mentioned that he likes to be forward, as did I. Let's see if Timeform US agrees with that assessment in the San Pasqual. Wow. I'm surprised that they have the 8 Prime Attraction out there. I think Tiago Pereira is going to be a little bit more aggressive coming out of the gate. They do have the 3 Accelerate out on the lead. You know I'm Accelerate's biggest fan. Talk about a horse that may not like Santa Anita. He is 0 for 8 in his career at the Great Race Place. Last time out at the San Antonio, though, Inside Speed might have been good. Giant Expectations got away with murder. This horse battled hard for second over Collected. Okay, maybe Collected's not the same Collected, obviously, that ran in the Breeders' Cup Classic or at Del Mar last year. But I thought this horse was game. If he gets this kind of trip, he's going to be real tough to beat under Victor Espinoza. I am worried about the 1 1/8, even though he won the Low-Sal Derby at this distance.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. I think you have all the built-in excuses for that most recent run. I got burned by him in the dirt mile, which still stings. I don't know what happened. He just didn't fire for one reason or another. But if you draw a line through that, I mean, all this horse does is show up and run his race. If he shows up with another triple-digit buyer, he's going to be tough. You and I have a quarter bet on who will be the favorite in this race. Maybe we'll include John White, the morning line maker. He's got the 9 with top of the game. I've got the 2 Mubtahij. You've got the 1 Pavel. Let's begin with Mubtahij. You could be using this race for yet another try in the Dubai World Cup. 4th behind Arrogate in 2017. 2nd behind California Chrome in 2016. None of those horses that are going to be there in 2018. This is a horse that the 1 1/8 is very good for him. We have never been his biggest fan. In the Native Diver, he kind of ran around there. Yeah, I think that's the worst part about it is it just feels like he was just kind of out there. He was there. It's not like he ever threatened. He tipped out, turning for home. Looked like there was a scenario where he put in a bid and he was just flat. He didn't offer anything. I don't know what you're going to get out of him at this point in his career. I assume you're probably going to get a high 90, a low 100. That puts him as a contender. He's just a very uninteresting horse.
I wonder if he's one of those several Bafflers who didn't like Del Mar. I mean, certainly Breeders' Cup Classic, you can hold against him. No. He's not going to step with those horses, but maybe that worked against him in the Native Diver. On his best day, he's probably the horse to beat. Pavel, though, I think might end up being the best one down the line. This is a horse that they asked a lot of him as a 3-year-old, third in the Jockey Club Gold Cup and only start number 4. They ran him in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Don't hold that race against him. The Malibu 7 might be a little bit sharp. That's 1. 2, I don't think the track or the race shape worked in his favor.
100%. I love Pavel. I think he could. I think he could be a monster, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with him. I would imagine this is a prep to get ready for a race like the Big Cap next month. I kind of look at him and say he is the unexposed one in this race. Everyone else, you kind of know what they are. Pavel, to me, still feels like there could be another forward move. And if there's another forward move from the form that he showed over the fall when he ran as well as he did in the Jockey Club against older horses, if there's a forward move, he's going to bury this field. I agree with you. I think the Malibu, the race shape, he was out on the worst part of the track. He eventually, toward the end, got to the inside, and I think that's why he came on again a little bit. But I think this is what he wants to do. I think he's a middle distance kind of horse, and look, he could work out a very good trip.
And in the Malibu, he was playing the game of some very talented 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
So Edwards going left's already come back to win with a 102 Beyer speed figure, that being in last week's Cal Cup Sprint. Win the Space is 20-1. Win the Space is a really hardy horse that has been thrown on turf in his last couple of races, and the Breeders' Cup Classic before that. And he gave the chalk players a little bit of a scare in the Awesome Again, or Muptahish supporters, a little bit of a scare in the Awesome Again 4 starts back. If he run that race, he's got a shot at a big price.
He's a bizarre horse, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Because he'll just randomly show up with a giant effort where maybe it looks like he's tailing off form, they try different surfaces, and then all of a sudden, bang, he shows up with a 101 or a 102. If he does that, then yeah, he's got a puncher's chance.
The Lieutenant scored at Los Alamitos last time out, a race that has already produced 2 next out winners, including 97 Beyer earner Hutchon, and a non-winners of 2 other than. The waters get deeper here.
Yeah, waters get significantly deeper. He's going to need to up his game to a new level.
Irish Freedom, I think one of these days is going to figure it out. He's 4 years old. This is only start number 8, so obviously there have been problems along the way. I liked his win at Del Mar over the summer. Then in the Comet to the Top, I thought on paper he was a mortal lock, and he was not very good. And then in the Native Diver, I thought he was okay against Prime Attraction, a day that Prime Attraction freaked out. And last time at the Malibu, if I'm going to argue against Pavel from a race shape standpoint, I can make the same excuse for Irish Freedom. I have a feeling this horse, Baffert is still trying to figure out what distance he wants, this is what he wants.
I agree 100%. To me, he reminds me of Opportunity, where he's not going to blow you away from a brilliant standpoint. He's just going to come and run and run and run and run. I think this is what he wants. I think he probably even wants a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if a 10 furlong kind of race works for him. And 100%, just draw a line through the Malibu, considering the way it was run, and it's a distance that I think is too short for him. I still don't know what happened in the Comet at the Top, because I loved him that day, and I thought 6-5 was stealing, and apparently the joke was on me because he never fired, he never ran. I agree with you. There's something here.
10-time winner Ike Walker completes the field. He's a really nice horse who's graded stakes place. This distance is a question mark, but we got a formulator fact, so you might want to consider it a giant price, at least underneath in single race exotics. Past 6 months, this has been a Jerry Hollendorfer move. Third off the layoff, older horses on dirt, 30%, 280 ROI. Even with that formulator fact, this horse has got to run his lifetime best.
Yeah, cool older horse, but I mean, you've just got to go back to August of this year, and he won for 32. I can't see him winning.
Fascinating race from a betting standpoint. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 2 San Pasqual Stakes. I'm going to go with the number 3, Accelerate. He's 4-1 on the line. I wouldn't be surprised if he's shorter than that. He might end up the favorite. We're all wrong. I would bet him at 4-1, but you know something? He's Accelerate. At the end of the day, I would have to use others in picks.
The good news is, even if you end up on the favorite, whomever it is,
could be 3-1, 7-2.
You're looking at 3 or 7-2. So this isn't going to be a race where chalker. No, you might get a good number on a horse that ends up going off favored. For me, top of the game, if he gets back to what we saw, and again, I'm just trying to be kind and say draw a line through the turf, and he had no chance in that run 2 starts back. Then all of a sudden, I'm left with a mid-100 Beyer on his home surface that he loves, Santa Anita. I'm going to be stunned if he's 3-1. I think he's probably going to be 5-6-1, and that's kind of what I want him to be.
Anyone else in multis?
I will use Pavel. I'm against Muptahish here.
Me too.
I'll use Accelerate, probably defensively, maybe not as an A. And then another backup that I would use is Irish Freedom, because I agree with you. I think there's one of these days it's going to happen.
You're going 9, 3, 1, and 7. I'm going with Accelerate the 3. We'll bet him to win at 4-1. In multis, I use an equal weight with the 1 Pavel, the 7 Irish Freedom, the two horses that I believe might have been compromised by race flow and shape in the Grade 1 Malibu Stakes. Again, if you're playing this race from home, if you're playing all weekend long from home anywhere, $200 free bet, no deposit required when you go to drf.com/join and sign up to DRF Bets with the promo code FREEBET09. Approximate post time for the Grade 2 San Pasqual race number 8 at the Great Race Place on Saturday, 4 o'clock Pacific. Good luck.